Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, we'll be joined by Dave Parulo and Christina Mitchell from Meet Chicago Northwest. Then we'll talk to Monica Harris from Schaumburg Township Library. We'll close out the program by talking with Roosevelt Groves from the Schaumburg Athletic Association. All of this and more today here on Speaking of Schaumburg. If you're looking for a new restaurant or cuisine, make sure you check out the fourth annual Chicago Northwest Restaurant Week. Here to tell us about this exciting event is Dave Parulo and Christina Mitchell from Chicago Northwest. Well, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for inviting us to talk about the exciting things that are going to happen with our Restaurant Week coming up at the end of February.
Well, tell me about it.
Well, we have, this is our fourth annual promotion to bring visitors from outside the Schaumburg area and the region into our area to experience the great dining opportunities that we have. And we have a little over 38 participating restaurants. And Restaurant Week is a promotion where the restaurants offer a three-course fixed-price lunch and or dinner option during a time when it's a little bit slower during the year, so we to build traffic and awareness of the restaurants, and also to offer a value for customers to have some experience to say, hey, this is a new exciting place for me to visit. So we're very excited. We've had great success in the past. Last year we had 40 restaurants participating, and we have over 6,000 trackable diners that we know participated in that, and we want to break that record this year.
Christina, what's your favorite restaurant?
Okay, so I've tried quite a few over the past 3 restaurant weeks, and I was delighted to try Chef Vince's Zeal in Schaumburg. He does a great job.
That's
and
on Mullins Drive, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, so that was one of my favorites, although I've tried quite a few of them.
And what is your role with Chicago Northwest?
So as the partnership manager at Meet Chicago Northwest, I help coordinate Restaurant Week. So I visit the restaurants, I tell them about Restaurant Week and the marketing opportunities that are there for them if they participate, especially newer restaurants. For example, the Clubhouse in Schaumburg is new, so going over there and telling them about the great marketing opportunity with Restaurant Week and getting them on board. And then we have to collect the menus of some of the restaurants.
So why
Sure.
is that?
Well, each restaurant has to submit their menu.
Okay.
Sometimes the chef does something special for Restaurant Week and has a new type of entree that they want to present. And sometimes they just package things that are already on existing menus. So working with the chefs and the restaurants and getting those menus in is a big part of Restaurant Week.
What are some of the most trafficked restaurants? I mean, which ones attract?
Sure. Okay. So
I mean, they want to be in the mall. They want to be by the mall. They want to be Gulf Road. They want to be on Meacham Road. They want to be next to Chicago Prime. So for Restaurant Week, we have a smattering of restaurants from all over. However, one of the most visited restaurants during the Restaurant Week promotion is Texas de Brazil. They have an incredible success rate with new people coming in and trying that Brazilian unlimited meat buffet during this promotion, and that's because they put forth such a great deal. You know, they don't discount very often, so this is the one time of year that I think people like to scoot over to Texas de Brazil and try them out is for Restaurant Week because of its special price points. How long have you been doing this?
Well, this is the fourth Restaurant Week, but I've been in the industry and with Meet Chicago Northwest over 8 years.
Okay, Dave?
You know, I just saw on Facebook that this is my 10th anniversary with Meet Chicago Northwest. So
time flies, doesn't it?
It goes very quickly in a blink of an eye.
How many staffers do you have?
We have 8.5 people on staff. I have a part-time person who's an accountant, and of that, I have 5 people that are in direct sales that work in partnership with our hotels and the convention center to find new sources of business. We have a couple folks in marketing, and then Christina is our ambassador out on the street for us.
Okay. What are some of the newer restaurants that people can look forward to?
To Restaurant Week or for the region, there's a lot coming to Schaumburg.
Well, tell me about it.
Sure. Well,
I need to learn these things.
We are real excited about the Clubhouse coming, and this is our second year with Punch Bowl Social. I think that has been in the Northwest region. You know, a couple of the newer restaurants that I really like, and I'm a big breakfast guy, and I was real excited when Egg Harbor Egg Harbor came to Schaumburg. I'm really looking forward to Walker's Pancake House that's coming. I think the breakfast market does really well. We're really hearing that the new IHOP is doing really well too, and the position is really close to the mall and close to the hotels.
All that traffic, road improvement kind of slows people down. They can see the sign, huh?
Well, you know, the road improvement is fantastic, and I am hugely excited about the new exit that we have. It's going to Meacham Road. Not only does it go to our convention center, but I'm really excited about the developing restaurant row that Schaumburg has.
What about PDQ? Have you heard of PDQ?
I don't know PDQ. Do you know PDQ? I've not been there yet.
That is scheduled to open, as well as Miller Ale House, I believe, right there on Restaurant Row. So there's quite a mix. It's going to be great for convention attendees.
Well, what is PDQ? What do they have?
It's comparable
what cuisine
to,
do they have?
comparable to an In-N-Out burger in the West Coast, but they specialize in chicken, I believe. So it's more of the fast casual, but at a good. They're known for their quality, high quality.
Another new one we have that's fun, you should really go to, is Uncle Julio's. It's open in Roosevelt Mall.
It's pretty crowded from my understanding. People who've popped in over there.
Yeah, it's exciting what's happening with the anchor restaurants in the mall. We know that the Cheesecake Factory has been one of our top restaurants in Schaumburg, but now we have these anchor restaurants with Uncle Julio's and Kinfork, and of course we've always had Rainforest Cafe, which is a big destination for families.
Tell me Kinfork.
Kinfork, what are you talking about, Kinfork?
So,
you're friends with those guys.
It's got a southern flair. So a lot of what they do are rubs, and they have a very large smoker there.
Wait, rubs?
Dry rubs on the meats, and then they smoke them in a very large smoker.
Okay.
So it's the smoked pulled pork and the smoked beef brisket and cornbread, and it's definitely got that southern flair.
Okay.
They do some moonshine drinks, and it's a really interesting restaurant and something different for Woodfield Mall.
Yeah, sounds exciting. What kind of turnout do you expect?
To Restaurant Week?
Yeah.
We reported back last year 6,000 diners, but that was 1/4 of the restaurants getting around to tell us actually the number of people that have attended. So, I've got to think that the impact has got to be 15,000 diners or more. It's very interesting. We have a pretty robust marketing campaign. We partner with the Daily Herald. We're going to have great big billboards along the Jane Addams and Route 53, and a lot of digital type of things. And we work with AAA magazine. Sure. And I'm just really impressed. I was talking with our marketing manager today, and Restaurant Week is now the top visited page when people are coming to our website, which is good because it tells us that our advertising is getting some promotion.
Now you do things besides Restaurant Week. I mean, what else does the Tourism Bureau do?
Sure, we have by
attracting tourists.
It's a fun job, and Schaumburg's a great place to promote. So our job is to market and sell the region. So we do that. We do multiple things. Firstly, I think selling is hugely important. We have sales managers that go and work with event organizers, trade show organizers. We work with partnership with the convention center, and we try to find large events that will fit into our hotels and bring folks here. A great example, which we just had in November, was the Irish dance teachers that used 12 hotels in Schaumburg. We had something like 5,000 participants and expected to have 10,000 attendees over Thanksgiving Day weekend. So it's groups like that we're looking for, and also we're looking for things that will impact the weekends because we have a lot of great hotels, and we have a lot of Schaumburg is a business core, so during the week our hotels do well, and they say, bring us weekend business.
Now you go shopping for additional contacts, don't you? You go out of town and try to lure some of these conferences and conventions?
We sure do. We do about 17 trade shows per year where we're trying to meet folks. We challenge our salespeople to contact more than 40 new potential customers each week. I just was in Cleveland last week pitching a convention, so it's really fun. It's a really interesting job, and it's easy when you have good product.
You're on the road quite a bit then.
I like to travel. That's why I got into tourism.
What is your background? How did you get into tourism?
I got into tourism by accident. My background is accounting, and I graduated from accounting school and needed a job, and I worked as a night auditor in a hotel.
A night auditor.
Night auditor, yeah, the night clerk. I was the night clerk, and really quickly decided I really enjoyed the interaction with visitors and guests, and I changed my career, and I worked for Starwood and Hilton hotels in several cities, and came to the Northwest region 10 years ago and started doing business development for a restaurant company, and got lured into the tourism promotion side.
Christina, what did you do before?
Sure. Well, I've always been in a little bit of a sales and marketing role. I worked for a newspaper in Central Illinois, and then did marketing, coordinated events, and did some sales, and that kind of morphed into me going to a convention bureau in Central Illinois, and then moving up here and coming to meet Chicago Northwest.
Now, Restaurant Week, is that 1 week, or is that 2 weeks? Is that half a week?
It's 10 days, really.
10 days. It's
okay.
February 28th through March 5th.
And if they want more information about it, who do they contact? Is there a number they can call? Or?
Sure.
There's a great website, dinechicagonw.com. That allows the individual to look at all of the menus that have been presented from the restaurants, kind of plan your week out. Where do you want to go on what day, and try what of the 3-course meals are being presented.
And then you can go exercise and get rid of all that accumulated fun, huh?
Oh, there's no calories in Restaurant Week. It's absolutely, there's no weight gain. We promise.
And on that note, Dave, appreciate
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Christina, very good. Thank you. Schaumburg Township Public Library is the second largest public library in Illinois. Learn more here. Speaking of Schaumburg. The Schaumburg Township Public Library has a new executive director. Monica Harris is here to tell us about her new role. Well, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where do you come from, Monica?
Well, the wonderful thing is that I've been at the Schaumburg Township District Library for about 3 years as the deputy director.
Okay.
So I have had an opportunity to get to know the wonderful community and staff there, which has been a great opportunity for me. And previous to that, I was at the Oak Park Public Library for
How long
about
were you there?
7 years at Oak Park. And before that, I'm from Michigan originally.
Whereabouts?
So from the Detroit area. So
Okay.
I was at the Brighton District Library and then at the Marshall District Library before that.
What caused you to get into the library business?
Yeah, it's so interesting. Most people don't go straight to library school after their undergrad degree, but I have always loved public libraries. I moved around a lot as a kid for my dad's job, and one of the things that always remained the same, and no matter what town we lived in, was that there was always a great public library, and it was a great place to connect with like-minded people and with great resources. But yeah, no, I started out as an English literature major, and I thought I was going to be a teacher, and I very much...
Chaucer, you learned about
right?
Chaucer. Okay.
Yes, Chaucer and any
That's
kind
it.
of old theater and other pieces, and I loved that.
And where'd you go to college?
I went to Michigan State University for my undergrad.
I have a daughter who's Michigan State.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great school. I love Michigan State. And I loved my time in Michigan. But what I found out about was I actually happened to be dating a boy whose mother was a library director. And as I was talking about my experience with student teaching and some of the things that I was unsure about what I wanted to do, and she said, "Have you considered libraries at all as a career?" And to that point, I really hadn't. It wasn't something that I had really thought about. But the more I thought about it, the more I liked it as an opportunity to provide education and still
Sure.
work with young people, but be able to do it in a more informal setting and to work with people of all ages was a really exciting idea.
How does the Schaumburg Township Library compare to some of the libraries that you've worked in the past?
Well, I started out in some very small libraries. My very first library I worked in was in one house. And so the entire library was a house with the offices on the second floor. But over time, I've had the opportunity to work in a lot of amazing places. The Oak Park Public Library, where I worked in previously, also was an amazing library. But Schaumburg Township District Library has a really fantastic national reputation. Sometimes I don't know how much the community realizes, what a wonderful resource and how nationally ranked this library is in
wonderful.
terms of what it provides. So it is absolutely the tops, and it's a dream job for me.
And we have a partnership with the Schaumburg Township Library to provide entertainment right just outside your front porch.
That's absolutely true. Yes,
And it's great that we have that relationship with the library to bring those kinds of events to the population.
We love being able to partner with the village and with the park district to be able to create some really wonderful opportunities for the community and for the public. And those are some of our most popular events. We have over
Ballroom
500
dancing?
people. Yeah, out in the town square, right in front of the library. Dancing, music. We did outdoor yoga this year.
Okay.
Really great.
Yeah, one wouldn't think the connection doesn't appear to be there, but once you get involved with that, what's your favorite program as far as the library is concerned?
Well, we do so many wonderful programs that it's hard to choose one.
Tell me a bunch of them here.
One I'll tell you about is our Summer Challenge, and that is a program that goes along all summer long. We used to refer to it as our summer reading program, and reading is really a very important part of that program because we want to encourage all of our kids who are out of school for the summer to keep picking up those books all through the summer, because that really helps with their education and with them making sure that they don't have that summer slide issue where they lose a couple months worth of time. Anytime some of them read just 3 books over the course of the summer, they really pick up a lot of knowledge, so we want to encourage that. But we've also found that people of all ages really like having opportunities to learn over the summer, so we have expanded the program to involve a lot of our recreational and informational programs and showing other ways to learn in the community, including partnerships with Spring Valley and things that people could do to learn right here at home.
So you still have books?
We do. We have so many, over 500,000 pieces of material between our 3 locations.
Wow, because the line out there is somehow that libraries are going to disappear because of the internet.
We hear that a lot, but I'll tell you, we had over 1 million visitors last year, and we circulated over 2 million items, and we are busier than ever. So one of the things I would encourage people is to realize that we circulate not just books, but also audiovisual material like video games, DVDs, music, audiobooks, and we are also starting with circulating some other kinds of materials as well. We just recently started a toy circulating collection where we're circulating educational science-based toys that are often very expensive and hard to test out on your own. So we're giving families the opportunity to do that as well.
Now, you recently changed something at the library, an expansion or a modernization, streamlined it. Tell me about that.
So we just finished a renovation on our first floor. What that involved was opening up our lobby space and also allowing us to add a new programming space. We have a lot of programs at the library, as I know I've mentioned, and so we needed an additional space to be able to do more. And we also added 140 seats to that first floor because we are so busy on our Saturdays and Sundays and some weekday evenings that there weren't enough seats for everyone who wanted to come into the library to study, to work, to meet with a friend. And so we added additional spaces for people to have the opportunity to do that. And we also brought our newest books, our new fiction and new nonfiction and our new AV, and put them right up front. So anybody who's walking into the library gets first pick of all the newest and best materials that we have.
Book club, do you have book clubs? Do you sponsor it at all? Or?
Yes, we have many book clubs. Okay. We've got, I think, almost 10 book clubs between all of our locations.
How does that work?
Well, we've got a lot of different ones. Some of them meet monthly, like our Worlds Await, which is focused on literary fiction. So for our folks who like to read a lot of the literary fiction that we have in the community, that is a very popular group with over 4 different groups that are meeting, also called Beyond the Book. We also have some book discussions that are focused on certain audiences. So adults who like to read young adult books, we have one for them. We have books for people who love mysteries or who love romance. We have book discussions specifically for them. And we also have some that are based on other kinds of material, like one where people can watch a movie and read a book of the same title, and then they'll discuss how they relate to one another, which is really a fun discussion.
Oh, it's a great library. I know it looks good. It feels good. It's very approachable. Very warm in that regard.
I'm so glad to hear that. We really do love our patrons in our community, and we have a lot to say about how we want to serve them, but we want to hear from them too. So
now you have a teenage thing, don't you?
We do, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we have a space that we renovated in 2012 that's upstairs on our second floor that's specifically for teens. So we knew that Schaumburg cares deeply about its teenagers, and we have great schools, and we wanted to reflect those services here at the Schaumburg Library. And so that space actually has a state-of-the-art digital media lab, which can be reserved by anyone, not just teens, to make recordings that they'd like to do. But we also have a great programming space there, meeting rooms that are just for teens to work on group projects together, and all kinds of space that's really just for them.
Now, I know one of my favorite librarians is Jane Rosick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
History is her forte.
Yes, she's our local history librarian, and she does great work for us in really archiving the history of the Schaumburg area, but also looking kind of Illinois-wide, all of the different things that have happened and the books that are written about the Chicagoland area. And we have quite an amazing collection in that regard.
Well, it impresses me, so.
Yeah, I am very impressed by it as well. It's really a great collection and it continues to grow.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Well, I appreciate your taking the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Mayor Larson.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
The Schaumburg Athletic Association, established almost 60 years ago, has provided youth in the community a great outlet. Learn more next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. The Schaumburg Athletic Association has grown from offering one sport to now 10 different sports and has over 6,000 participants. Here to tell us more is Football Commissioner Roosevelt Groves. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Tell me about your involvement with the SAA. How did you get started, and what's your favorite sport besides football?
I've been involved with SAA for over 13 years at this point. I started in 2004 when I entered my son into flag football. Other than that, I'm a big fan of our basketball program. For obvious reasons, my wife was the commissioner there for years.
You mentioned flag football. Is it really flag?
Yes, it really is flag. We actually offer three, I would say, distinction between the athletics and football. You got flag football, you have the 7-on-7, and then you have the tackling.
What is 7-on-7?
7-on-7 is just more along the lines of very skilled position. Receivers and defensive back are basically man-on-man coverage. Cover the guy over the field and make certain that you can shut them down.
Okay. And what's the age group for the football?
We bring in ages 5 to 14. We don't use high school students, but we do 8th grade students.
Do you have any adult flag football at all?
No, we haven't gotten into that. This is all about the youth of our community.
Okay.
We're trying to make certain we're incorporating the youth and teaching them the value of being athletes as well as good citizens.
Now, you say how many kids do you have in the program?
We have over 350 at this point. We're looking to grow, and that's why my job in SAA at this point is marketing. I want to make certain we reach out to the other communities to bring in their kids. We have a great program here, a proven program, a very competitive program.
You have tournaments?
Yes, we have tournament at the end of the year. We also have flag tournaments as well. But at the end of the year, when we get into the playoff season, we actually play for the championship at that time.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's pretty exciting for the kids. Actually, we have our featherweight division at this point who actually won the championship for the TCYFL, and it's very fun for the kids.
Imagine it's fun for grown-ups, too.
I think the coaches really enjoy it, and the parents, and also the kids. I mean, it's all about the kids for us.
Yeah. So 10 different sports.
Yes.
Can you name them all?
No, I can't name them all, but I know we have lacrosse. We have.
How long have you had lacrosse?
I think that's been in existence for, if I may be misspeaking, but about 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
It's pretty big.
Okay. What else?
We have cheerleading. Cheer is a pretty good sport for our young ladies and actually some young men as well. We have volleyball, we have basketball, as we stated, traveling baseball. Lots of activity for the kids.
So SAA makes quite an impact in it.
Yes. I think SAA has a big outreach to all of the communities, but mostly the Schaumburg family. Very good impact.
What kind of relationship do you have with the Schaumburg Park District?
Extra. The Park District is basically a huge supporter of us. We use the facilities, the fields like Veterans Field. We're going to
Olympic
retake
Park,
some. Olympic Park is huge for us as well. That's what I consider our turf, our nighttime events.
No, that's a great venue. It's a great asset too, as far as the community is concerned, because those moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas come to see their wunderkinds, and then they go eat in our restaurants and shop in our shops.
That's true.
Stay in our hotels.
That's true.
So it's an economic development tool, and certainly
Exactly.
with the SA as strong as it is, that's a plus as far as the village is concerned.
Strong and getting stronger.
Yeah. How did you get involved?
My background, I am actually an ex-football player. I played my football days at Northwestern University, and I actually had an opportunity to extend myself to the NFL. But I did not stay because I wanted to be a nuclear engineer. But that's how I got started. I
You
love
want to be a
football.
nuclear engineer?
I am a nuclear engineer.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Oh, how wonderful. Where do you work?
I work for a local utility in Illinois. We're actually over 4 or 5 states at this point.
Okay. Tell me, SAA, how has it grown, and how do you promote it to young people?
Actually, we do have several events. I think the biggest showcase that we do is the Septemberfest parades. We actually market it to our families and show exactly what our athletes are capable of. They march in parades, they get to show off their uniforms, etc. I'm actually looking to do a little bit more outreach, and that is bringing more of the community together to get parents involved, understanding the safety of football, because there is always the scare of concussion. We need to let them understand that we're part of the USA heads-up football process, and we are safe. We have skilled coaches. They are certified. Their first interest is the kids' safety.
Yeah, I can understand the concern there too, especially since some publicized former athletes that just now it's evidence of concussions has taken a toll.
That's correct.
So what's your proudest moment as an SAA dad?
My proudest moment was actually having to coach my son his 8th grade year. I think that was a tremendous experience for both of us. I had to take myself hands off to make certain he can get the right guidance without daddy's being, overbearing out there.
Sure.
But that's my finest moments.
Is there a carryover from SAA to high school sports? And
there's a direct carryover between SAA sports. For example, we are pretty much the feeder process for both Connaught and Schaumburg.
Go Saxons.
Go Saxons.
Roosevelt,
thank you,
good
man.
luck in your career.
Thank you.
All right. Nuclear engineer, huh?
Yes.
That'll do it for this edition of Speaking of Schaumburg. Join us again next month for an all-new episode. Until then, I'll see you around town.